Hey lovelies, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Amity Gilmore and this is my life. Last week I did a video about how I adapt with my health in order to still continue in my music career. I really strongly encourage you to check that video out. I'll link it up here so you can check it out when we're done here. But this week I wanted to talk about my business and how I adapt because of my health with that. Because obviously I'm juggling a couple of things. I do not recommend that you try and juggle all this high maintenance sort of stuff when you're ill unless you actually love doing it, which I do, and that is why I continue to do it. It gives me something to get excited about and wake up in the morning. But I thought we would talk about 5 ways in how I adapt in order to still maintain this business regardless of my health. Let's get into it. So before we start getting into those 5 points, we do need to get into why am I unable to do it full on without adapting. Well, if you are new to this channel, my name is Amity, as I said, and I suffer from a condition by the name of Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, and currently I have also been struggling with vasospasms. Vasospasms have been very difficult this year. If you don't know what that is, it means that my blood supply is being cut off to my organs and my organs are suffering. This includes my heart, brain and lungs, so not good. As you can imagine, it is very difficult to maintain the business that I am maintaining, and it has been probably one of the best years in business for the first half of the year, and then tariffs happened, which we all know about that. I did do a video on it, but that is not this video. Obviously with my health, in order to continue this business, I have had to make some changes and adapt. And that is what we're going to talk about today. So let's talk about the first way in which I adapt. I do not do made to order. Now, if you don't know what my business is making and selling functional accessories for those with medical devices, particularly feeding tubes. I have a system in place, and this has been a system that I've done before I got really unwell, and that system is deliberately doing a whole batch of what I am going to be selling, and they have to be fully made, fully packaged, fully ready to go, and then I list them. So that when they're listed and someone purchases from me, I don't have to then go buy the material, go make their thing, or grab the material from my thing and make them or whatever. I can literally just package that up and send them away. There is not that pressure to try and get it done in time to send it out because it is already done. All I have to do is package all of the things in which they bought, put it together and send it out. That is something that I will only ever do. I do not want to ever dabble in made to order because I feel like with my health, that is something I will not be able to keep up with. And I think it is hard enough when my shop goes through stages where it's really busy and things sell out really quickly and I have to work really hard to build it up again, which is I'm in one of those stages at the moment and I'm working to build it up, but it is a bit difficult, and I do not recommend doing made to order if you do not have the health or the time, because that is a whole lot of stress you do not need, trust me. Number 2 is working my schedule around how I'm feeling. How this looks like with my business is I will work certain business tasks into how I'm feeling. To explain this, if I am feeling really bad with my blood flow one day and my blood flow just keeps cutting off and I am feeling like I'm gonna faint, I need to be in bed and my feet need to be level. So I am not going to be sitting at a sewing machine that day doing a whole bunch of sewing, one thing after another while upright. I just cannot do that. And so on those days, I will be in bed, I will lay down, I'll trace on my little bed table, which I got from Kmart. It's so cheap, it was $15 or $20 at most. And I will trace all the fabric, I will cut the fabric while watching something nice, put something on, listen to some music, whatever, listen to a podcast. I don't listen to a podcast, I mainly just watch YouTube, or sometimes I'll watch other forms of media like Disney Plus. But I will not force myself to sit down and sew if I'm not feeling good. Likewise, if I am having a day where I am feeling really good, no questions asked, I am at the sewing machine, because I need to utilize that time the best that I can in order to get what I need done in the time that I feel able to do it. Now, another thing to throw in the mix here is I end up in hospital quite a bit, particularly this year I've been in quite a bit. So I will use that time to do more of the online things that I could probably do on my phone. Sometimes I've brought my computer in. I never really bring my computer in unless I'm actually staying for more than one night. And those times I have brought my computer in and I have done a bunch of work there. I will say the type of work that I do in hospital waiting rooms is basically like replying to Etsy reviews or getting back to people on email. But then the other thing I do is designing new fabric in my design app, because what you guys may not know is I actually design my own fabric, not for all of it, but if you look on my Etsy store, I do have a particular part of my store called Lemire Exclusive Designs. And if you click onto that, you can find fabric designs that I have made all myself. I'll just show you one thing. So this here, I designed that bow in this design app. I have a little stylus. I have a few of those bows, and those bows are going into a really exciting design releasing soon. So that is something to keep your eyes out on. I've also started designing things for next year's fall, and by fall I mean in the US, because as I said, 95% of my customer base is in the US. I will show you one thing from that. Isn't it adorable? And that's what you get to see. Those little graphics I then put into Canva and make them into the fabric. And this is something that I am able to do on my phone. So if I am in a waiting room or if I am in hospital only for one night, then I will usually just stick to designing the fabric. This is something in which I'm able to do in hospital. So I will usually make sure those tasks are reserved for when I am in hospital. But obviously I'm not going to wait till I'm in hospital to do it. I will get it done when I have the time otherwise. But this is just an extra thing that I can do while I'm in hospital. I don't design too much fabric. A lot of the fabric I get is from Spotlight, but I am slowly designing more and more fabric to use for myself. Interestingly enough, if you are interested, I also have a fabric store on clothcuts.com, which is an Australian fabric store. I have my designs up there. I will link it up here if you want to check out the fabric designs that I offer on that store, and you can order them in so many different types of fabric bases, and you can order them in bulk and wholesale as well. So number 3, I do not do custom orders. I did used to do custom orders. It was really difficult to try and find the time for it, particularly when my business became a little more busy. I will say, however, custom orders also are quite wasteful because there is a minimum amount of fabric that you need, and these people are asking for a particular fabric from Spotlight. I usually, when I was doing it, giving them the link to the Spotlight store, and then they were basically picking out fabric on the Spotlight store, and then I had to go into the fabric store, into Spotlight, and I had to check and find all these fabrics, see if they were available. It was a nightmare. It was also not good use of my time with the business. I will say I was happy to do it back when I was doing it, but custom orders are now something that I think very carefully about before doing them. In terms of the tube items that I provide, there are a few exceptions, particularly if someone wants to customize a pack and put certain things in a pack, or if they have a design they want me to, I guess, print onto tubey tape. There's also that where I'd be happy to print that design onto tubey tape for them. So I do those things, but in terms of my fabric based things, I will not do custom orders anymore. It is just a headache. And although I am so grateful for those who supported me in custom orders, I just cannot continue with that, particularly with my health this year. Number 4, I merged my accounts on social media. I did this recently and I didn't actually make a big deal out of it because I wasn't sure if I was going to continue, but I think I am. I have 2 accounts. I have on every platform. I have my business account, and then I have my singer-songwriter account where I do music. I've since decided that I want to merge them for now The reason for doing this is because in order to gain enough traction, you kind of need to be posting twice a week. And I was already posting technically twice a week, but on 2 separate accounts. And I thought the way to get the best reach was to merge those accounts and then post on that same account. That way I am actually converting customers from my YouTube videos about music and pursuing a career in music, regardless of illness. I am converting them over to my shop. At this point, my shop is only like tube items, but I am working on some more items that are for everybody, and I'm really excited about those items. In terms of the content and getting content out there and being able to promote my business and my music, it just got really difficult, and I was working so much for little return, and I realized if I put them all in the same account, I could be doing a lot better. And on to my 5th and final is something that I haven't started, but I'm actually going to get more into it, and it's allocating tasks or outsourcing. In terms of allocating tasks, some of my friends have been grateful to help me along with my business, which I've been so grateful for. I have a friend who comes on here Tuesday nights, we do some work, and I'll buy dinner. I can't do this long term though, because like I don't feel comfortable just shouting dinner when it becomes a profitable business. So at this point it's like very early stages, so it's fine, they're happy to help. When my business does take off, I've thought about if I want employees or not, or if I want to outsource. But in terms of outsourcing, there is something that I am outsourcing or in the cards to outsource soon. I can't get into the details about it, but I'll just say that a big part of my business that takes a big chunk of my time, more so a chunk of my time in the last 2 months than it did before, is now going to be allocated to another or outsourced to another business who I will be working with in order to, number 1, make things easier for me, and number 2, make things easier for a certain demographic of my customers. That is what I'm going to say. That is all. You can guess things from there, but yes, it is going to make things both easier for me and my health and being able to do things, and much easier for an entire demographic of my customer base, and I'm really excited about it as well. Those are the 5 ways in which I adapt in order to maintain running my business. I hope you've learned something here, and I hope that you've been able to be encouraged. I would really encourage you to, if you're wanting to start a business and you don't have full capacity, this may not just look like having an illness. This might also be if you're a single mother looking to also have a job on the side, or also if you already have a full-time job and you're looking to create a side hustle that can maybe later become a big business, or maybe even just continue to be a side hustle. But anyone that doesn't have the time or energy in order to go all out on their business, these are ways in which I am able to adapt, and I hope it encourages you as well. Question of the day: if you are watching this video and you have a small business, I would be interested to actually hear what your small business is. So if you want to leave it in the comments, and that way we can all actually have a look at everyone's business in the comments and support each other and encourage one another in what we are doing. This doesn't have to be an Etsy handmade business. It can be whatever you're doing. It doesn't even have to be a business that's making money. If you're making content and that's your business, put it down. Let's just do a bit of a promotion in the comment section. I'd love every one of us to help each other out. But other than that, I hope you're doing well. Love you guys. God bless.